What's going on, everyone? My name is Tyler, and I've been a Grubhub driver for about 3 years. Technically an Order Up driver for 2 years, and then Grubhub bought Order Up out back over the summer. So it's been about 6 to 8 months that I've been driving directly with Grubhub. But same concept, slightly different company. I'm making this video to show you how to get the most money while being a driver partner for Grubhub. So the first thing I recommend is joining your local Facebook group. Now, almost every market has a secret group where fellow Grubhub drivers will give tips on what to do with certain restaurants, when they drop hours. Joining it just engages you in your community, so that way other drivers can tell you what the roads are like. They can tell you when they drop hours so you can pick up hours and earn more money. And they can also tell you about road closures that can have an effect on how long it takes you to deliver an order. Now, the second thing I recommend, which is something that my local Facebook group discovered, was when you're signing on Grubhub and you're at your house, make sure you're on 4G LTE and not on Wi-Fi. Because the thing that happens is if you're on Wi-Fi and you switch from Wi-Fi to 4G LTE, sometimes there's a glitch in the app and you will not get an order. So it'll dispatch you an order, but what'll happen is it won't show up on your app and it'll count as a missed order. Now, there has been a driver, actually 2 drivers in my area, that have discovered this, and they had been on their shifts for 2 hours and had not gotten a single order because of the glitch in the app, signing on with Wi-Fi and then going from 4G LTE. So when you start your shift, make sure you're on 4G LTE and stay on there until the end of the shift. End of your shift rather, just so you don't miss any orders with the glitch in the app. Now, the third thing I recommend in terms of getting the most money when being a Grubhub driver is to know when you get priority scheduling, and I miss it all the time. So when you're really good at delivering orders, you have a higher reliability score, you become either premier or partner driver, and you can find it from your driver profile. But it basically gives you either first, second, or third access to new blocks that are scheduled for the market. And I always miss them. I never set an alarm, so I recommend you set an alarm so that you know exactly when the shifts become available for the following week and you can pick them up right away. As I said, it's pretty easy. Just put an alarm in your phone, and so that way you'll get a notification, hey, it's time to schedule, rather than getting what's left. Number 4, try to complete as many shifts as possible. Now, I know stuff's going to come up and you're going to have to drop hours, but just think before you drop it, because depending on how many hours you work, you may need that high reliability score to get first priority with picking up shifts. Now, I only drive about 25 hours a week, and I'm in a market that has really high volumes, so my reliability score is all over the place. It's not perfect, and I'm still able to get the hours I need. But if I need more hours, as I said, you got to make sure that you're filling all of your shifts, that you aren't late to any shifts, because if you're more than 15 minutes late to a particular shift, Grubhub will drop that shift. I discovered this a few days ago. I signed on and I wasn't getting any orders because I'd signed on late. It turns out, as I said, it's either 15 or 30 minutes that if you don't show up to your block, they drop it. And again, that counts against your reliability score. So try to, fill the shifts that you're scheduled for, and you'll be rewarded later on. Next, this one's pretty obvious. Keep track of your miles. Each mile is about a 54 cents tax deduction off your taxable income, at least in the state of Pennsylvania. I'm sure other states have very similar tax laws. But keeping track of your miles gives you an accurate deduction. And in addition to that, I've been allowed to deduct my cell phone plan, because you need a data plan in order to drive Grubhub. So that's some additional tax-free income that you can receive. As I said, keep track of your miles, and also keep track of how much you're paying for your data plan and write it off your taxes. Next, know what delivery is worth it. If you got a $3 or $4 delivery that's going 15 miles across town, it might be worth it just to reject it, even if you take a small reliability score impact. I believe if you're ordering takeout and you can afford takeout, you should be able to tip. If you don't tip the driver, I don't always reject non-tippers unless it's a really close distance, especially if it's a far distance. It's not worth your time to spend at least 30 minutes, maybe more, going to the restaurant, picking up the order, and then delivering the order for a measly $3 or $4. You could easily get any other order that would come in would be more than that. So this is kind of like an iffy topic, but I genuinely will not accept a non-tipped order if it's going more than a mile or two and it's a faster day. You can tell slower days. If it's a really slow day and you get a non-tipped order, maybe your only order for the hour, so take it. But know what your driving is worth. So whether you were driving 4 hours with Grubhub or 12 hours with Grubhub, you're going to get hungry while on the shift. So you want to almost plan before your shift to either bring something with you to eat or figure out where you're going to stop along the way, because if you don't know what you're doing in terms of where you want to eat and stuff, you may end up stopping during a shift to order some takeout. May take a little bit, and of course that impacts your earnings. So make sure you eat before your shift or have a snack during your shift so you don't have to stop during your shift and pick up some food. Last but not least, make sure your phone is on the highest volume possible, because if you turn your volume down a little bit, let's say you get a text message earlier in the day and you're like, oh, the noise is loud, annoying, I'm going to turn the volume down. You might not hear that little Grubhub dinner bell, and you'll miss a delivery as a result. That's happened to me many times, either between shifts or before shift. I'd get a phone call or a text message and it'd be really loud. I'd be like, why is this loud? I'm turning it off or turn my phone on vibrate. And then I sign on to my shift and I forget to turn it back on or turn it all the way up, miss a few orders. So again, finally make sure that your phone is on the loudest volume so you can hear that dinner bell and get the orders. Hopefully these tips were helpful for you as a Grubhub driver, as they were for me. If there are any other suggestions that you guys have for making the most money on Grubhub, feel free to leave it in the comments section and chime in. And best of luck on the road, and let's make some money with Grubhub.